Hi, everyone. Welcome back. So now we're going to talk about updating your application for 2024. It's pretty similar to years past. So if you've done it before, you don't really need to do this video. But if this is your first time, your very first renewal, or the first time to attempt it, go ahead, take a look. It's not too hard. All right, let me show you what I've got. So updating your application. Honestly, it's really not that hard, but I'm going to walk you right through it. Once you've picked your plan and you've added it to the cart, you can do your application. Now, in case you haven't seen it, you did get an email from us in your email. If you didn't get it, call us, but check your spam first. I sent it out on November 1st. But if you didn't get it, maybe your email's incorrect. Let us know. We'll send it again. The next thing, when you open that email, right there, it says renew your plan online now. Just click that button. It'll take you right to your information. When you first get there, it's going to show you this, basically all your options. It's going to have your birth date and your zip code, and the information that you put in for your estimated household income will already be there from 2023. So all you need to do is update your information, your income information for 2024, and you can quickly shop plans. If you haven't seen how to do that, just check the other video about comparing plans. Now, if you really don't want to compare plans, you just want us to help you with that, perfect. But please update your application. So pick a random plan, add it to cart. That will get you to your application. Once you get there, it's going to have your information right there. Now, this is my uncle who's passed and hasn't been with us for a few years, but he's my test person. So it will show your information, whoever is listed as primary. Next, it's going to confirm your home address. Quite often, people move and forget to let us know. So this is the way, if you did move, to check that. If you have a different mailing address, that's fine. But remember, the first one has to be a physical address, and then you can enter a mailing address. Right here, it's going to ask your contact information. Your email will be there, and then put one phone number. And we always list it as home so they don't text you as much. You can put your cell if you want, but there is just means they're going to call you and text you. So we list it as home. And then always say that you want to get it by mail. I know many of you are like, nah, email is fine. But honestly, healthcare.gov emails you more than they need to. So if you send this by paper, you're only going to get the important information in the mail. And those emails can be kind of ignored because they do send a lot that are not really personal, or they're just overwhelming. Always open everything that comes in the mail from the insurance marketplace. They only send, like I said, 3 or 4 mailings a year. Next, it's going to have it condensed. So it's nice. A big chunk of what you already entered is going to be there. Just read it and see if anything has changed, such as, are you married? Maybe you weren't married, but you did get married, or maybe you were married and you're no longer married. If you need to change anything, or maybe you claimed 4 dependents, but one of them is now graduated college and has their own job and you need to adjust it. If you do, that's where you would hit edit this section right there at the bottom. Otherwise, you can see the big blue button and you'll just hit continue. Next, update. The next thing we'll say is, do you live with anyone else? Now, your dependents were already listed before. So this is if you have other children that you live with. Please answer no. If you're a grandparent taking care of a grandchild, but they're not a tax dependent, don't add their information here. If you have a stepchild that maybe the other parent claims, don't add that. This is only information that you need to enter regarding dependents is if they're on your tax form. And if you need help with this, reach out to us. We're happy to help. Next, it's going to have your social security number because they want to make sure that you're here legally. It's going to say, does your name match? Do you smoke tobacco? Are you a U.S. citizen? Are you in jail? Because I'm sure that's what you're doing if you get on a computer. Are you a Native American or Alaskan? These are all required questions. The bottom 2 is up to you. They're not required. You can decline or you can add them. If you're not a U.S. citizen, there's a long list of documentation that you can enter. If you have done this with us before, we probably have that documentation and it's already entered in the system. And if you need help, again, reach out. We are very happy to help. Next, it's going to say, are you a naturalized or derived citizen? And I'm only mentioning this because often people will go, well, yeah, I'm a natural citizen. That's not the same. A naturalized citizen is an immigrant who came here as a child, whose family became U.S. citizens. Well, if you're under 18, the country often makes them naturalized, meaning they cannot be deported. Adults who become U.S. citizens can be deported at any time. So that's what that means. Most of us would say we are not naturalized or derived citizens. Next comes your adjusted gross income. Now remember, we already entered this information for you. It's already there. So you are just going to make sure it's as accurate as you can be. Enter it as best you can. We can always adjust it later. It's already there. So just kind of update it for 2024. And again, we can adjust it. We can change that anytime throughout the year. There's a very long list of options, and they'll let you list it as monthly, biweekly, or yearly payments. But I want you to be aware that it's using a calculation of an entire year. So if you say, you're going to collect your Social Security starting in July, and it's $1,000 a month. Well, if you say I'm collecting $1,000 a month, it's going to estimate 12 months. So you don't want to say it monthly. You're going to want to say 6,000 for the year. You can also do this with anything else. You will typically see that what we entered in last year when we were helping you was we put it in as yearly. So just make sure you remember that. And self-employment people, remember you're entering your net profits, not gross. So it's going to look like this. Remember, we already put the information in there. Maybe you had a job for January and February of 23, but you no longer have that job. All you have to do is hit remove. You can edit things, update, and remove, as well as add. If you do put a job, you're going to have to put a phone number in. And again, if you list it hourly, it's going to assume hourly for all 364 days, or at least weekly. So make sure you're putting that in correctly. The next page will ask about deductions. Now, if you're working, you can do 401k deductions and IRA deductions. You can do alimony, but only if you were divorced previous, I think, 2020, but I'm not sure, you would know, and HSA contributions. But you must be enrolled in an HSA qualified plan. You do not have to enter anything in there at all. We used to be more concerned about it due to the income cliff, but now if you estimate your income higher, no problem, you'll just get money back. And it's going to total the calculation of your income and say, is this correct? If it is not correct, I want you to go back to this page. Find out why it's not correct. Maybe you entered the yearly amount, but you had it calculate monthly. I do that quite often. Don't try and fix it down here. It doesn't work, and sometimes the tax credit gets really skewed. Next, once you hit submit for your income, it will sometimes give you what I call the magic question. It'll pull up these 4 options. It will say, your income seems higher or lower than what our records show. Now they're looking at the most recent tax document from 2022. And if there's a 12% difference than your tax return, they're going to pop this question up because they're like, well, this is weird. You saying you're making 40,000, but the last one we had said you were making 90. Well, maybe you were working full time and now you're living off retirement savings. So again, if this question comes up, hit number 2. It doesn't matter if option 1, 3, or 4 are accurate, hit number 2. This is why I call it the magic question, because when that comes up, it will no longer ask for proof of documentation. They just want to make sure you understand that what you're putting in doesn't quite match what they've had in the past. Next page, just leave blank. It's extra help and additional coverage. It's going to ask if you have existing coverage. And while you do have coverage right now in the marketplace, just hit no. Trust me, it just makes it go a little faster. It will ask if you're having any HRA arrangements, which is a health reimbursement account. If you do, please reach out to your insurance agent. Otherwise, hit continue. It will then ask if anybody in the family has employer-sponsored coverage. Now, please call us if you do. We need to make sure it's affordable. But I'm also showing this to you because I know many of you do not. If you hear of somebody talking about their renewal rates for their group insurance, extremely expensive, especially if they add the family, have them call us. There are some calculations and new rules that maybe we can help get the family a less expensive plan. Next, it asks about upcoming changes and recent changes. Leave those blank. That's for non-open enrollment time period. Everybody qualifies for insurance right now. Next, it's going to ask if anybody's offered ICHRA or QSERA. If you don't know what those are, you are not offered them. So just ignore that. If you are, reach out to your agent to make sure the calculation is correct. Then it's going to give you one last look at everything you just put in. And if you're see an error, just hit the edit button. Otherwise, hit continue, and you'll go to the next page, which will show you all the fine print, which we talked about earlier. So if you haven't watched that video, make sure you watch the attestations. Once you hit submit, it's going to say, here's the plan. Now, if that's the plan that you wanted, you hit enroll in this plan, walk it all the way through, and you're done. Congratulations. We will see that and we will email you. We will say, hey, we see you enrolled in a plan. Everything looks good. Now, if you don't like that plan, not a problem. All you have to do is hit change plan right there. If you don't like that plan, or if you wanted us to help you find a plan, just stop. Just walk away, send us an email. Okay, I updated my application. Can you help me find a plan? And we'll hit change plans and we'll do some comparisons and send you options. If you do not want to be enrolled in the same plan, maybe a husband and wife, one likes Aurora, one likes Prevea, or something like that, you can hit shop multiple plans. If you click that button, it's going to pull up the different people in your family. You would click a button next to one, hit choose a plan. It'll show you the rates for that one person. Then it brings you back to this page again, and you do it again for the second person. If you need help with that, again, we are so happy to help you. If you can just update your application, you are helping us tremendously, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. So again, thank you for watching this video on how to update your application. We can't do this without you, and we're so happy to help you. But if you do this, we can do the expert stuff and help you with the plans. Thanks.